Hi, we're Team Collar, and we've created a GPS collar and a paired mobile app system. My name's Jake Morrison, and on this project, I helped create a couple of endpoints on the back end, but my main focus was developing in Swift and creating some of the UI in the iOS app.
Hey, my name's Cooper Hatch, and my main responsibilities for the Collar project were the backend API endpoints, Firebase authentication, collar tracking, and the deployment of our backend.
Hey, and I'm Greg Bauer, and my primary responsibilities on the Collar app were iOS development and UI UX design, as well as tying everything together and making sure it all worked great with the backend.
I'm William Mecklenburg. I'm graduating from the U with a bachelor's in computer science. My primary experience is in C# and Java, but I also have experience in Python and C-like languages as well. My programming experience has been an internship at Hill Air Force Base and more recently in the private sector with Lucid Software. For this project, I developed many of our endpoints, as well as did our backend testing.
Collar is a smart collar and GPS tracking system for dog owners. I'm sure many dog owners have had to scour the neighborhood looking for a dog that's not out, or been to the dog park and turned your back only to turn around and realize that your dog took off running. It can be anxiety-inducing and scary not to know where your furry companion is gone. Dog owners want to have confidence their dog is where they are supposed to be, knowing if their dog has escaped and where they went. Dog owners also want to keep their dog in close proximity while hiking or walking through the neighborhood. It can be frustrating trying to yell commands when their dog has wandered too far. This is exactly why we are creating Smart Collar and paired mobile app system. We decided simplicity is best, and that's why we named our system Collar. Collar is a tracking device and paired mobile app system for dog owners that allows the owner to easily create custom invisible geofence boundaries and be notified when their pet has gone beyond those perimeters. It also allows the owner to track their dog and locate them in real time. It also utilizes built-in audio cues, or an owner can create their own custom recorded audio commands to install on the collar to catch their beloved one's attention. Collar also features a walk mode that will allow the dog to leave the geofence perimeter while you take your companion for a walk. Walk mode disables geofence alerts and switches to a selectable radial boundary that notifies you when your dog wanders too far from your device and allows you to see where they are and get their attention with audio cues. Collar also has a fun feature that allows you to track you and your dog's activity stats while on a hike, walk, or run around the neighborhood. After an activity, you will be able to see the distance you both ran, your average speed, and other fun statistics. And now I'm going to turn it over to Greg for a demo of our product.
Hey everybody, it's Greg here again. Today we're going to be going over most of the main features that users will be utilizing in the Collar app. As you can see, we've got our Home tab here is the first screen that a user will come into contact with. Down at the bottom, we have several different tabs that users can easily navigate through to get to the main features. We've got a Fences tab, we've got a Walk Mode tab, Activity tab, and our Settings for the user. So we'll start with the Home tab here. As you can see, a user can see a lot of the information that they're going to need right off the bat. They can see their position, they can see their dog's position. This user has a dog named Kevin, and it has a home fence that's turned on currently, the pink boundary there. Now, if a user wants to go ahead and utilize these fences and be able to change which fence that they've got or even turn it off, they can just touch on the collar that they want, in this case Kevin. It goes ahead and shows us where Kevin is on the map. So it'll show the individual collar and the user in relation to each other. Now we've got the home fence on, which is this pink fence here. We've got a list of fences down here that the user has created. You can easily switch them off, switch them back on. You can change fences. Only one active fence can be on at a time. Go ahead and put that back to home. Now we've got a few other things. We've got the play warning alarm 3 on Kevin's collar. This is the sound that is currently assigned to Kevin's collar and will be triggered when Kevin leaves the home boundary or its fence boundary, leaves walk mode, which I'll talk about later. Or you can, a user can go ahead and manually trigger that sound as well just by pressing this button. A user can also go ahead and choose the sound that they want to emanate from the collar. they can go ahead and click on this button here and choose any of these sounds here. All right, so let's say that the user is going to go somewhere, let's say a friend's house, and they want to create a new fence boundary. You can go to the fences. You can see the fences that the user has created here. You can see the home fence, you can see the dog park, etc. Now, if the user wants to go ahead and create their own fence, they can go ahead and press the plus button up top, just for adding a new fence. And the user can go ahead, let's say if they want to create a fence over at their friend's house over here. So they can go ahead and just tap and hold. It'll create a vertex point. Get your points exactly where you want them. Of course, you can zoom in and get more refined if you would like. But let's say that's good, and we want to go ahead and create this fence here. We'll go ahead and name this friend's house. We can save that. As you can see, that shows up in the list of fences now. All right, so now another great feature that we've got here in Collar is the walk mode feature. And what this does is this allows a user to go ahead and go on a walk, and they can set a radius around themselves. And this will allow the app to let them know when their dog has gone beyond that fence. To do so, they can just go ahead and click on Kevin to turn on his walk mode. As you can see, we have a circular fence that is surrounding the user's position. We can easily change this size of the fence. We can even type in the size if we want. Let's say we want it to be only 100 feet. We can do so. All right, so another great feature of the Collar app is our Activities tab here. This allows a user to do an activity such as a walk, a hike, a run, that sort of thing, and be able to track their movements, track their collar's movements as well, and be able to record that information. So what they can do is they can go ahead and go to select activity type. They can choose, let's say they want to go on a run, and we go ahead and start that run, and the app goes ahead and tracks your average speed, distance that you've gone, how long you've been going. We'll let that run for just a moment. All right, so our user has ran a distance here, and so we'll go ahead and stop that. And you have the option to go ahead and save your activity. So as you can see, we've got the line that's here in pink, and this shows where the user has gone. We can see that activity, and we can go ahead and name it, and then we can save it. All right, so that was our Activities tab. Lots of great stuff there. All right, so those are the main features of our Collar app. I hope you enjoyed this little walkthrough.
So this is a summary of our tech stack. Starting from the top, we have an iOS app that the user will use to create an account, kind of manage everything. They can create geofences and whatnot. And we also have 2 projects for tracking the collars. The first one we did was an Xamarin, so it could run on both Android and iOS devices. But then we later added an independent watchOS app, so it'll run on a much smaller device. Both of these use Firebase for the authentication, and once authenticated, they can then communicate with our backend, which, since it's a stateless REST API, we use Kubernetes. So if we expected an increase in the usage, we could properly expand everything to handle the load. From there, it can then communicate with a 3-node MySQL cluster, again for the high availability, just reliability. If our API does need to communicate back with the Collar or the user app, such as to play a custom audio cue or alert the user that their dog left their fence, again we use Firebase for the push notification. And yeah, that's our tech stack.
So that's Collar. Again, Collar provides dog owners a secure and safe way to keep track of their dogs with location tracking on the mobile devices. They can create multiple custom geofences, activate audio cues, be notified when the dog leaves those boundaries, and for fun, track their stats when on a hike or at the dog park. With Collar's mobile app and GPS-enabled smart collar system, you'll always be able to find your furry friend.